Hey everyone, welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 66, Execute Order 66. It is October 15th, 2022. See who's here. Bat Mom says she was first. Randy says they will know that you're doing this show. They will know that you're doing this show. Who will? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I worried about me knowing doing this? Icon is speaking something else. B-Lynn says she's third. Welcome. Angel, welcome. Mr. Lee, welcome. Joe says, fair warning. If this goes into politics, I may dip out. I don't do politics. Not one iota of interest in politics. But hey, everyone has their thing. I know, but politics affects everything. It's hard to not deal with it. But welcome to the chat. B-Lynn says, listening tonight as I'm heading home. Well, good deal, B. Drive careful. Mark Dobman says, good day. Welcome, Mark. Jen's here. Welcome. Bright as rain. Ernie's here. Welcome. Little Kilroy is here. Welcome. Yep. I don't know. I don't know if they actually, really, we don't even really know what they have done. I think it's perfectly well within their capabilities. They've been willing to murder plenty of humans in the past. So I don't know why it's such a. It seems so far-fetched to some people that the government would do it. Some people don't believe the government could even find them. Now that, to me, is very far-fetched. They got unlimited resources and technology at their disposal. Of course, they could find them. If they're out there, the government can go out and find them anytime they want. I know a lot of people, are stuck on the comforting thought that the government's just a bunch of good old boys that got their heads half up their ass and are barely holding that whole shit storm together. But the reality is it's an extremely sinister situation we're dealing with. Extremely evil guys who got their fingers into all kinds of shit and will make you die if you become too much of a problem for them. Sometimes openly, like a certain fella who ran a island not too long ago. They straight up murdered that guy in prison to hide their secrets. I can't see how anyone would think otherwise. So yeah, if they want to keep the forest people secret, and that sometimes entails just murdering entire tribes of them, I think they damn well would do it. Gary says, I'm the hero, you crazy as it sounds. Uncle Bones, you're welcome. Randy says, working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by. It's all taken and no given. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, yeah. Y'all are probably. Some of y'all are probably watching on the alternative channel. It looks like Uncle Bones may be. Which I was trying to get monetized, but apparently YouTube doesn't like that plan. They have, I think they got me, shadow banned. In other words, nothing. They're not. They're going. They're bending over backwards not to put anything on the feed is what they're doing, because there's no way to explain how, there was a whole bunch of growth from what I started doing 2 days ago, or starting doing yesterday, and then it was just exploding, and then all of a sudden it just shut off like someone turned off a spigot. New subs stopped to today it looked like to no movement at all. You know, uh, nearly 200 I think it was yesterday that was added, and nothing today. How do you explain that? Other than YouTube putting the squash on it because they don't like me. Over 100,000 total views yesterday, and just very tiny amount today. They're shadow banning my channel. So I'll even email all the squatchers in chat. Good day, mate. That mom says, good old boys aren't actually good. They are killing people and burying them under their orchards and farms. Yes. Brandy says, fuck the police. That's how I treat them. We buy our way out of jail, but we can't buy freedom. We buy a lot of clothes, but we don't really need them. Things we buy to cover up what's inside. I guess Brandy's singing a lot of songs. What's here? Good evening. Saw your mom. She opened. What the fuck? What kind of shit you listening to? Game of soccer. Donald's here. Welcome. You're on both. Yeah, I'm streaming to both because I figure I might as well pick up some views from the live streams over there. I shouldn't need to really, because again, like I said, I added a whole bunch of views yesterday, which contributed to an increase. If you got to get to 1,000 watch hours before you can monetize a channel, so I figure it wouldn't hurt to throw the live streams over there since a few of them are already over there from the past anyway. But it might not be the best way to go about it. I don't know. Mr. Lee says, hello everyone. Half are watching here and half on Lockbeard, just saying. Donald says, I was wondering why there was only 3 viewers. I was on the other channel. Yeah. Go to whichever you prefer. I guess Uncle Bones wants to do both. Missed the meeting of the Juggalos once again. Oh, crap. Peace up, A-Town. I'm sure you got more to contribute than just song lyrics. Daily Dan says, greetings. But you haven't been saying from North Carolina, though. Have you moved? Welcome to the chat, Dan. Hope all is well. Angel says, would it help if we all hopped over there? Oh, it wouldn't. Not really, I don't think. I don't know. I just figure if the new subs over there see a live happening, that they might check it out over there. But as far as like 22, well, I mean, it would help a little bit, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Need to get the viewership up over there, though. I mean, I just already know that this channel is going to be a real slow grower, and there's just no way around it. And I got a strike that doesn't expire until December, so there's no way I could get monetized until then anyway. And considering some of the content, they'd probably tell me no. In fact, I'm thinking that it may be possible, because I guess they can. Like, they might look at your content and say, look, there ain't no advertisers that want to advertise on your channel when you got all this bullshit. So it might be to my benefit to go ahead and delete all the live streams over there, except for the convoy stuff. But everything that's got political content, and even some of the phenomena live streams contain some discussions that they don't like. So it might be to my benefit, before I try to monetize, if I can just get there, for me to delete those from that channel. And because they're all been re-uploaded over here. The only problem is the chat doesn't come with it, but I might just have to do that because there's no way around it. If they look at one of those live streams and see some shit they don't like, they may be able to say, no, we will not monetize this channel. And that would be very, very bad. Donald's laptop. What says Lockbeard? Have you ever come across a channel where the soldier tells his encounter of hunting to Sasquatch? Sounds familiar. I mean, there's been a number of stories like that over the years where people talk about, special teams going out and to exterminate problem Squatch. But how do we know that they're true? Chessboard's here. Welcome. They go to a cave where the Sasquatch lives and found bones and a child's shoe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I've heard of that one or not. Uncle Bones says, I better stay over here. Bat Mom's got a wrench over there. You afraid she'll beat you about the head with it? Gary says, when the mods block a person, do they take their job to the extreme? Huh? I don't know what you mean. Joe says, well, I'm missing a cat. Gotta go find her. Well, you don't want to have a missing cat. It can cause all kinds of trouble. Angel says to Gary Johnson, Lockbeard has said only the scam sex bots are to be blocked. Yeah, don't block any. If it's a person that's just trying to be a problem, then I'll do it myself. That way they can't be claiming, that, oh, you have a mod that's, I just don't even want that. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to have mods at first, because, I don't need a mod going off the reservation and then putting me in a difficult position where I'm like, dude, we don't block people here. Like, bots, slay the bots all day long if it makes you happy, but we don't block people here until they've really proven that they're just here to be a disruptive disaster to the chat, and then I'll do it myself. And then they can bitch all they want, and I'll be like, no, look, you you fucked up enough to where I had to block you. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out. I don't know what to do. Look, we don't have to put up with someone just coming in and just disrupting the shit out of things. You can ask questions, you can challenge, but Jesus Christ. Sometimes. Jen says, "Good luck, Joe. Ask Gary. He stands around the office all day." He does. What says they kill one Sasquatch, but the other one picks up a soldier and slams him against a tree. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember it very well. I could type the name of the channel if you want. Yeah, sure. Donald says, "Would that be Vault's channel?" Yeah, if it's Vault's channel, we already know that's a bunch of load of shit over there. Vaulted nonsense. Mr. Lee says, "Donald, have you found your emojis yet? Is he missing his emojis?" What says, "No, Donald, hit hi, by the way. Said hello to everyone when I first came in, but just in case you didn't see." Sasquatch hypothesis. Mr. Lee says, "The ones available on my phone and new laptop are the same, and they suck." Guy hasn't uploaded anything in a while. Some good vids on there. Jen says, I put on the other channel. I hold my judgment here. Okay. That mom says, "Sorry, Uncle, getting ready for my daughter's arcade day for her birthday." This really says, "Donald, no picker neck then."
Oh, by the way, I think you'll be needing this. Thank you, Cody. Now let's get a move on. We've got a battle to win here. Yes, sir.
Commander Cody, the time has come. Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord.
That's cold. Fuzzy nuts. That mom's gonna be a granny, says Mr. Lee. Found the cat. Emergency averted. Good deal. Of course, it's another interesting point that some people think that Sasquatch has Jedi-like powers, right? Some mind speak, some magical shit going on. At least some excessively good athletic ability. Ogabone says, Batmom, no worries. I know you have mom duties. Take precedence. Gary says, was there a lot of woo going on in the movie? Just wondering. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean exactly. What do you mean, was there a lot of woo going on in the movie? It's Star Wars. It's kind of a... it's hard to say if it's, it seems to at times have somewhat of a fantasy tinge to it, but I guess it's supposed to be sci-fi. Like the story ideas I was working on, the way things are explained is kept science fiction, not fantasy. Now, sometimes science fiction can be of a type that seems like fantasy. Sometimes science seems like magic. Uncle Bone says to Satch, here you go. some kind of when your cat dies. What? What's that about? I have to take a look at this real quick. Well, if it'll load, computer's struggling. I go sit here and wait for it to spin.
What do you do when your cat dies?
Hold on.
Play with the neighbor's pussy.
What in the hell? Batmon says, Lockbeard, why did you just say... What? What did I say? I'm not sure what you're referring to there. Satch says, are you trying to make me cry, Uncle Bones? Don't talk about my cat dying. You'll stop crying if you watch that video link he just put up. Maybe I can put it up. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
What do you do when your cat dies? Play with the neighbor's pussy. What do you do?
There you go. Lee says, anyone seen Mr. Pat? I kind of miss him. No, and I hadn't had the chance to watch that whole show where apparently there was some kind of contention about how he approached the gas. It sounded like they were trying to say it was JT, I think it was trying to say that he was like way out of line and got kicked out of the show. I didn't see a part where he got kicked off the show for a second. Like he said, temporarily, but but uh, but I haven't watched the whole show, so I don't know. But the part I saw, I mean, at best he might have been a little on it for a moment there or two, but not like going nuts on the guy. That was my first impression, and that wasn't what happened that I saw in the segment we saw. But that was the timestamp I was given too. Probably the best example of science fiction is Doctor Who. What? Are you crazy? Like there is no like yes, it's presented as science fiction, but they do all kinds of crazy wild stuff that there is no plausible explanation for any of that shit. They just like it seems like their plan for Doctor Who is just do whatever and don't even bother explaining it, like trying to explain how it could possibly be, scientifically explained. And so they just wash their hands of that entire thing, and people pretty much just let it go because that's what Doctor Who is. It's just this crazy wild shit that really might as well just be fantasy because there is no way you can make half that shit scientifically plausible. Just no way. They just do whatever the fuck they want and don't even worry about trying to explain it. So, so I it's almost like it's its own thing. Like it's, I guess you call it science fiction, but it's science fiction that doesn't even like try to be explainable. But I liked Doctor Who until they started trying to rub all kinds of woke on it and just jacked it all up. They were doing pretty good with the new ones for a while there, but they just, Jesus Christ, what the hell? Take your Jodie Whittaker shit and get the fuck out. And now I'm just over it. Like I don't even want to watch it anymore. It's kind of like with the other stuff. I'm not really interested in watching any more Star Wars or Star Trek or Marvel, Aliens, Predator, all that stuff. Like the last Predator movie, I didn't even bother going to see it. A lot of the movies I don't go. Occasionally I'll go see one. Like I went and saw uh, Thor: Love and Thunder just to see how much of a train wreck it was, because you can get a lot of the movie through watching synopses, spoiler reviews, and then all the clips. Like people share enough clips that you pretty much get the movie, right? But it's all chopped up and dissected. So sometimes it helps to go actually, watch the whole thing because there's certain bits that you don't necessarily catch unless you're really digging hard to get them all. And you're looking for, you're trying to say, okay, look, I've seen a clip from this timestamp to that timestamp and so on. What happened in here? So there's stuff that you miss, and you know, and it was worse. It was worse than I was expecting. It was ridiculously dumb. Um, they've destroyed the franchises. They destroyed them all. So, but Doctor Who is, man, to call it science fiction, I feel like it almost like it needs its own category. Like it's not fantasy or science fiction. It's Doctor Who. Gary says we know the movie is entertainment, but it's the woo side of it that people might believe, and some who say it's hogwash. Just saying. Um, I I think well, I think you might be overthinking the use of the Star Trek reference and in regards to the subject of Bigfoot. I wasn't trying to suggest anything with that along the lines of whether or not there's a woo at all. Uncle Bone says, I didn't miss all the juggalos. Joe says, Pat didn't get kicked off. He bowed out on his own. Yeah, okay. Because JT, I think it was told us that he was like taken off like for a second or something, or for a couple minutes or something like that. Like he was briefly taken off, but I didn't see that part. Like I haven't watched the whole thing because I don't usually watch CARC. It's just not one I've gotten in the habit of watching. But I do want to go back and watch it because someone was in my chat like saying this stuff about Pat, and so I need to see, and I think most of the people here would certainly like to see Pat. See his show on every Friday. So we were wondering why he wasn't on last night, and so that's how it came up. But JT was saying that the stuff about him, and so we watched a segment of it because they told us the timestamp of when it happened, and it looked to me that Pat was just challenging the guy's claims there, that his evidence. If it was actually evidence, I need to go back and watch the whole thing to really say anything intelligent about the whole situation. But the segment I saw, I didn't see him like unhinged or out of control or anything like that. I saw him just challenging this guy who seemed to be trying to present some claims without adequate evidence, which we're all getting fed up with seeing, I'm sure, or at least I am, and it certainly is appearing that others are getting to the point where I'm at, where I'm done playing ball and playing with kid gloves and because these people are muddying the water and preventing us from getting to the truth of anything. So yeah, Batman says don't talk about the time traveler. The time traveler. Which time traveler? What says? Well, I mean the classic episodes. Oh yeah. Man, it's hard to watch those. Those are pretty goofy. Donald says, Mr. Lee, I watched the Kark show that Pat left. They should have never asked him his opinion. Yeah. I mean, if you ask someone's opinion, you might not like it. One thing they didn't give him wasn't enough to watch to get a fair observation, and it is crappy Fleer. Well, Fleer isn't really like, you're gonna have a hard time making me think Fleer. Oh, I got great Fleer. It's just like fucking Louisiana. What's his nuts down there? Oh, I challenge anybody to come up with better footage than this, and it's fucking, it's not. There's nothing good there. I don't know what the hell you talk about. Patty blows that out of the water because you actually see the damn person there walking across the creek bed. All you see is a heat signature. Anybody could be in a suit producing that heat signature. They try to say, no, you can't do that because of this. No, I'm telling you, a suit can be made and made the right way to where you would not be able to tell whether or not there's a person in a suit or not. That is doable. It's not easy for your average person, but it's not like just going and getting a stupid costume and putting it on. That's not what I'm talking about. You're going to have to put some effort into making it right. but it can be done to where your heat vision isn't going to know shit, is not going to tell. In the 70s and 80s, yeah. No, I like Doctor Who. I just, I mean, let's be real. There's no way to make any kind of scientific plausibility out of shit in Doctor Who. And then of course, it's a grandfather paradox nightmare. It's almost like someone said, "Hey, when you do time travel in sci-fi shows, the grandfather paradox is kind of a problem. Going back in time is kind of a problem because you always will have some level of a grandfather paradox issue. And there'd have to be certain specific circumstances to prevent that. And even then I might challenge it to some extent because of the issue of instantaneous action at a distance, which means it doesn't matter if you go back in time, but you simultaneously transport yourself to another goddamn galaxy. The fact is instantaneous action at a distance affects everything in the damn universe in some minuscule fashion, period. So there would always be some degree of grandfather paradox in my view. So time travel in reverse would just not function because it just doesn't work with the nuts and bolts of how the reality fucking works. So it's like someone sat there and said, so let's make a sci-fi show where we just say fuck grandfather paradox. It just magically doesn't make any kind of problem for us, and we can go back and forth in time all willy-nilly without even thinking about it. Like they don't even try to make things plausible. So that's, but I still like it. Uncle Bone says, Satch, yes, he left on his own, but he got put in timeout a long time. I was surprised he was there when they came back to him. Mr. Lee says, what if you're talking with Tom Baker? Then yes, the others were all rubbish. Clark kind of disrespected Pat big time, says Gary. Bat Mom says, where's my sonic screwdriver? Gonna take care of some peeps. Well, y'all have sonic screwdrivers in you mods. What says indeed, Mr. Lee? Tom Baker was the best Doctor. Even better than Tennant? I don't know. Tom Baker. Bit too young to see them all the time. Joe says, well, my opinion was that the Fleer was inconclusive, but Pat wasn't letting them continue to present the rest of what they wanted to say. Donald says, gotta get back to my PPV of the rain delay is over. Alrighty, man. Mr. Lee says, are these girls professional clowns? Fuck if I know. Definitely not a fantasy. Gary says, Donald, I was watching. It was like, holy crap moment what they did to Pat. He did the right thing. Space 1999, I love when I was a kid. Fantastic. Space 1999. I'm not sure I recall that, Mr. Lee. Is it Space 1999? What was that? Gary Anderson's Space 1999 opening titles. Well, there it goes. I don't know how much we can get away with that before they shut down the stream, so I better chop it off. I probably did, but it from what that little intro there, I mean, I don't remember it. Like, there's a lot of stuff I've watched where, like, I barely remember watching it because it was just so forgettable. I'm like, I think my brain's like, okay, we don't have a space for this shit. And Uncle Bone says, and Pat further the topic, how by taking his toys out of the sandbox, Pat claims to know he was asked on that show. He got pissed and left. Never seen Mystery. Was it from the 80s? It feels like 80s or 70s. Satch says, I like Pat, but in my opinion, he should have let them present their evidence before giving an opinion or analysis, not just monopolize one point. So yes, Mr. Lee says it was from the 80s. Lost in Space, yeah, I used to watch that. I vaguely remember when I was really young, I was watching an episode where somebody got put through some kind of machine and it did something really, like, to me, gruesome at the time, and it really messed with me for some reason. Land of the Giants, yeah. 80s. Tenet was good, but Tom Baker was better. I vaguely remember the old series though. Like, I watched it. I remember watching it when I was really young, but it was just like, it was something that I didn't like. I think I was just from, like, it's time to go to bed kind of thing. Like, I wasn't really able to watch it very much or something. I just vaguely remember watching the old stuff, and I've never gone back and watched the old stuff. I've watched a lot of the new stuff. I did not watch that last season though, because to hell with that nonsense. They gotta gender swap everybody or race swap everybody, and they did both. Stop it. Occasionally it makes sense artistically, but now it's just getting like, you guys are just everybody's that straight white male. You guys are turning into anything else but straight white male. We see what you're doing. You're just trying to be fucking assholes, and we're sick of it. Ask Pat's opinion on that video. He gave straight answer, and they didn't like it. And someone told Pat to fuck off. Did they really? Did someone say that to him, actually? Pulled off the alien look. The doctor was an alien and not human. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't think that that was the point ever, was to try and make him look like an alien. They never tried with any of the other, when he regenerated, they never, they've never done that. Oh, hell. Red Dwarf. Nah, you got the wrong dwarf. White Dwarf. That movie White Dwarf. I like that. It's kind of corny, and special effects was lacking where there was some, but it was at the time that's what they had. It needed I think I said this before. It needed a writing polisher on it. It needed a little bit of work on that script. Uncle Bone says, Mr. Lee, is that the one they were on the moon flying through space? Wait. What, Space 1999? Is that, are they actually on the moon? They're always flying through space, says Mr. Lee. What says Red Dwarf's good? The episodes where they went to the backwards world was good. They went to backwards Earth. There's Timmy Boy. What's up, Timmy Boy? Donald says, Joe, they didn't give him crap to look at. He only saw a little snippet of the flare footage, and it was crap. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna give someone a little bit of it, you'd think you would give them your best part, and if that was their best part, then, well, yeah, they did pretty good job with the movie. I never did read the book though. I was reading an entirely different, because like Lord of the Rings. I never read Lord of the Rings. I was too busy reading Piers Anthony stuff mainly. I read some Ben Bova and there's a few other authors, but I had my own little, preferences over here. So Lord of the Rings was kind of, too far down on the list for me to ever get to it as far as novel reading before I kind of stopped reading novels at some point. When I was in college, sometime I kind of stopped reading novels for the most part. I think the last novel shoot, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not sure exactly. It might have been around 2007. I think the last novel I read was a science fiction novel about people being cryogenically preserved. It's like a pro. It's a pro. It was written by a guy. It was pro. Cryogenic preservation, pro immortalist community kind of thing. In association with the Immortality Institute, people who want to use technology to live as long as possible. So don't take the immortality too far, but yeah. Joe says, when I was a little boy, I had a crush on Holly from Land of the Lost. What? Says, I didn't do much. I didn't watch too much of the last season of Doctor Who either. There's Nikki. She says, I went and watched it. Went and watched what? Joe says that was someone in chat, Gary, and the host didn't see it. Oh, that told him to fuck off. What says Bradley Walsh was in it? He played Graham, one of the companions. My auntie and uncle actually know him because his friend lodged with them many years ago. Satch says, and they didn't tell him to fuck off, Gary. They said, shut the fuck up so the guest could speak. Oh, shit. Nikki says, and in my opinion, he was totally put backstage. He wouldn't stop talking, and he knew that was going to be discussed. So why didn't he go watch the whole video? Should have done the homework. Uncle Bones says, Lockbeard, yes, they have a base on the moon that somehow gets shot into space. They only fly the little shuttles when they get close to planets. But the whole damn moon is flying through space? That's a lot of mass. That's a lot of fucking mass. Joe says, Donald, yes, I agree. The flare was inconclusive, but Pat wouldn't let the guy even talk about the investigation they did surrounding it. I'll call bullshit, but I would have waited. Is Batmom sitting on her phone? Nikki's Uncle Bone says, Nikki, yes, to harp on that one point so long was a joke. Gary says, when Kark went back and looked what was said to Pat, it did it like it really fast, and I seen the word fuck, so I figured that's what someone told Pat. Well, it sounds like it was an interesting show. I guess I'm gonna have to make sure and go back and watch the whole thing and see what all was going on. Probably need to. Here's Timmy.
Level out, come on!
And Donald. Mr. Lee. Yep. Oh, we got one. We got one for Joe for Sat.
You, sir, are officially an Uber driver.
Yep. Oh, and if Brandy's still here.
You remind me of the babe.
Yep. Nikki has been hidden? What do you mean? I see Nikki. Batmom blocked Nikki. Oh shit. That can happens too easy. Just post the messages on the other channel. I think I'll close this one and have a bit of an echo. All right, let me go see if I can get her Is she just timed out? Well, you know, same difference. I was thinking of trying to do one of those types of deals. Does that work out all right? Let me jump over here and see if I can get Nikki unblocked. Yeah, I can see it over on YouTube, but it didn't show me. It don't show me that on StreamYard. What in the hell? Just another one of the flaws of StreamYard. It doesn't show me that she got blocked. Batmom says, guys, I'm trying to carry cupcakes to the car. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I haven't done it in a long time. Studio. Well, come on, load up. You can do it. It is taking a long time. You better be careful with that sonic screwdriver. You misfired. Donald says never mod with your phone and nod off. Well, there's Nikki. Is she back? Cupcakes will do it every time. Batmom's ordered out. It's okay. Oh, so you got. Well, no, you're back now. It looks like she's back. Don't reblock her lock. So, well, I see me. Do you see me? We see you. Let me go look over on YouTube. Yeah, you're on there. Need to give you shields against such things. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Maybe it'll help. Can you block other mods? Because I don't even know. By accident. Such as I see now, Nikki, you're not blocked. The sonic screwdriver actually got destroyed in one episode. Did it? Let me see if I can find a. No sound. No sound. Hold on a second. There we go. Everything's working so damn slow. Shields didn't know you could buy protection. Well, I just made her a mod, so yeah. Who's on in an hour? I might go live. Is there anybody on tonight? Because used to Matt was on at 8 o'clock, so I'd go. That's why I chose 6 to 8. So I'd be done by the time Matt comes on. But Matt hasn't been doing a regular 8 o'clock Saturday night live stream for a long time. Occasionally he's on, but he doesn't do it regularly anymore. Nona Boss Continuum started a show on Saturday night, like I think starting in the middle of my show. I think she's starting now, I think. So I don't watch it, but that's all I'm aware of. That's all I'm aware of. No mods can block other mods, says Uncle Bones. Mr. Lee says, Uncle Bones, I tried to block you many times, never worked. Yeah, that was the TARDIS sound. I turned the sound off because there's just trying not to get a strike or anything like that, or any more copyrights if I can help it. It pops up, but usually it doesn't have any effect on things. Like I thought there might be a copyright deal because when we pulled up Nikki's live stream last night for a few minutes before we quit, and she mentioned it in her live stream, the music that was being played at that event might cause an issue, but I didn't get anything, so maybe it wasn't coming through clear enough. So, yeah. Oops, I haven't read that yet. You can block. Jen says you can block a mod, but I think it's just your view of them. If you click on a mod, you get to go to page report block. Gary says, just asking, what's the biggest flaw these researchers do while bigfooting? or are they all guilty? Well, I mean, I don't know anything about most researchers, and you can't really confirm anything about hardly any of them. Yeah, he stopped having a regular live stream on Saturday nights, so he probably won't be on. But occasionally he does. Seemed to cause a lot of controversy where Cyberman crushed a man's hand and you could literally see the blood. Oh no, I was wrong. That episode that wasn't Doctor Who. That was Lost in Space. Why was I thinking it was Doctor Who? It was Lost in Space. That was a bothersome episode when I was really little. Mr. Lee says the Daleks are good. We're good. Exterminate, exterminate. I had a model when I was a kid. What says that was from Remembrance of the Daleks, great episode. Oh, you talking about some of this? Yeah. So I don't know, like all these actors of the new series, I like just fine. I think they all did a pretty good job. Personally, who do I like the best? I think of the new ones is probably Capaldi. Probably Capaldi. John Hurt, great actor, says Mr. Lee. Yeah. Well, Bigfoot's real. Why hasn't Doctor Who found him? Satch says, Gary, the biggest flaw, in my opinion, for some who call themselves researchers, is they have Bigfoot on the brain, where every noise or movement in the woods is Bigfoot, but it's not all. Yeah. Yeah, that's something you gotta be careful about. Because your mind will play tricks on you. If you're expecting to see something, you'll see it. But yeah, but yeah, it's just. So I mean, let me look at your Gary's question. Just at what is flaws these researchers do while Bigfooting, or are they all guilty? It's just a weird wording. That's a weird wording. Like the two sentence segments there don't really go together. Like you're asking what the biggest flaw the researchers do while Bigfooting, but then you say, or are they all guilty? That those two sentence segments just do not work together. I don't understand what the hell. Kind of similar to Capaldi was kind of similar to Pertwee. It didn't encounter Yeti. When did that happen? Good gosh, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee says, in my opinion, Capaldi, that Scottish wanker, ruined Doctor Who. Mr. Lee, you're just mad because once again, Doctor Who did not regenerate as a ginger, as was Doctor Who himself, as we recall. He wanted to be a ginger. I want to be a ginger. Gary says that's not something I do. I make a fair judgment when looking. There were 2 to 3 Yeti episodes in the classic series. Yeah, that's probably why I don't recall them, because I didn't see all the old series. Mr. Lee, how could you disrespect Capaldi like that? That's just horrible, Mr. Lee. Just horrible. So what else I got pulled up over here? I guess I can get rid of Yoda. Fuck out of here, Yoda. Matt Smith. Joe says, well, get the rope out to lynch me. I never watched Doctor Who. Well, I don't know. I don't know why we'd want to lynch you. Like I said, Doctor Who, like, because I'm surprised I actually like it, but because I'm, so critical of science fiction where it's not scientifically plausible at all. And Doctor Who completely throws all scientific plausibility right out the window. It's so ridiculously nuts. And they'll throw out some, science babble sometimes, but at the end of the day, they're not even really trying to make any of this shit make sense. The crazy shit that happens in Doctor Who is not explainable. It's just they do whatever. Anything, like any kind of crazy shit can happen. So it might as well be fantasy. What says Doctor Who? The 5 Doctors. They encounter a Yeti in the cave below the Dark Tower. So that's my big old list. Please do comment below. Tell me why your Doctor's better than mine. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Donald says, "You think this crap is better than Red Dwarf?" Well, look. Admittedly, you guys saw the entirety of my exposure to Red Dwarf right here on the live stream. So, all I can say is Doctor Who has its positive aspects, but Red Dwarf. What are those guys? They were talking to a toaster or some shit. They tend to explain a lot in the classic episodes, especially around the Pertwee era. You never watched Red Dwarf either, Donald? Yeah. I mean, if you're a scientifically literate person, because some people watching science fiction are not really all that scientifically literate. So it just depends on which personality is and how well you're going to be able to stomach something like Doctor Who. And from the little bit I saw Red Dwarf, like, it's just complete ridiculousness. The little bit I saw. However, I like Lex too. Lexx. The Lex series was I really liked it, but you got to really divorce yourself from reality a little bit to consume that, because it's too freaking. The universe is just completely goddamn insane, pretty much. So, good gosh, I just did a search for it and it didn't even. Well, there it is. For some reason, I was getting some weird results. YouTube, you suck. Initially says red dwarfs. Fantastic. You must watch it. It's meant to be a comedy. It's definitely a comedy. Not comedy. Science fiction, not
I
comedy.
am
No,
Kai,
they're talking about Red Dwarf being a
last
comedy.
of the Brahmanji. Millennia ago, the Brahmanji led humanity to victory in the war against the insect civilization. But the Time Prophet predicted that I would be the one to destroy the Divine Order and the League of 20,000 Planets. Someday, that will happen. But not today. As today is my day of death. The day our story begins.
Gary asked, a fair question in your honest words, how do you see the world of Bigfooting? That's kind of vague. What do you mean? See a lot of fakers out there, a lot of people just trying to profit who aren't actually interested in finding anything really. The search, telling the story of the search is where the profit is. That's why I'm so hard on, Moneymaker and High Check, these actors trying to act like they're legit researchers, and I'm not buying it. Sitting there being millionaires, while those of us are scraping by who want the answers. And we know, come on, you can't truly believe that these guys have all of those resources and didn't find shit unless it's by design. So, I know some people still have faith in High Check, but no, dude's a multi-millionaire. He makes his money telling the story of trying to find these mysterious creatures. He will not solve the mystery. He's fucking full of shit. The best that we can tell, right? Ain't found shit. Ain't found shit, but orb butter, as Donald calls it, on his damn car. So, sorry, High Check. Either bring it or get the fuck out of the Bigfoot world. Go back to TV. Stay the fuck off of YouTube. YouTube is where people can tell the actual truth and don't have to deal with all the gatekeepers at Hollywood and at the corporations and the government that controls all that shit on TV. They haven't been able to control YouTubers entirely. So YouTubers can actually, tell the truth of shit and talk about things. But you're over there directing the narrative. So get the fuck out. Sorry, Doug Highcheck, and sorry to the people like Doug Highcheck. Go the fuck back to TV. Why the fuck you coming over on YouTube? Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you. And I'm sure there's plenty of others that feel the same way. You didn't find shit. You failed. You got millions of dollars. Explain yourself. Well, you're gonna. I know he's gonna say. He's gonna say, well, Bigfoot. You can't just find Bigfoot. Bullshit. Joe accidentally stumbled across one in the goddamn woods. Jay Fritz was out there just hunting squirrels as a kid, and he stumbled across one. And you're gonna sit there and tell me that with all the resources at your disposal, you're a multimillionaire and you can't find Bigfoot? Kiss my ass. You're lying. Gotta be harsh. Because I'm sick of these fucks. Sick of this shit. Take your psychedelic flying squirrels with you. You only made 12 episodes. Mr. Lee says, big faulty fucking hilarious. Basil faulty. All the British comedies on PBS. British Empire. Brita's Empire was good. It's at the Leisure Center. Keeping Up Appearances was good as well. Satch says, I enjoyed Are You Being Served? British Empire, same actors, Rimmer. That's an unfortunate name for the character. I'm sure they did that on purpose, though. One Foot in the Grave. Before My Time. Yes, 1 foot. Funny stuff. Donald says, or butter is delicious. What says was already being served? Posh one in this something house, stately house. At least as an adult, the humor. The department store. Never seen it. There was one called You Ran M Lord. Gary says a good explanation, but you put a quote on just one person. Benny Hill. Real English comedy. Department store. LO was another. Donald says, to Satch, yes, the comedy styling can be hard to grasp. It took me a few episodes of Faulty Towers to get it. I ain't even heard of that. Unique kind of humor. Chat jumped on me. I don't think I missed anything though. What says Benny Hill was funny, especially the skits where everyone chased him at the end. Anyway, that was the opening part of the first episode. The first episode of the series Lex, which the first episode is a movie. I think the entire first season is movies, 4 movies. It's not normal episode links. It's movie links, but they call them episodes, 4 episodes. Anyway, the person pictured is a character named Kai, played by Michael McManus. That's why you see me in the chat. If Derek McManus is around, sometimes I'm asking him if he's Michael McManus or if he's related to Michael McManus. But anyway, I don't think the third episode of the third movie, I don't think it's on YouTube, but this one, the first movie, the second one and the fourth one, they're all on YouTube for free to watch. So if you wanted to check them out, they are there. But this is just a clip from the showing the battle that he died in. He dies, but he's walking around. He's kind of like I guess you could call it a zombie, except he functions really well, and he's an assassin, but like he just doesn't. There's just aspects about him that don't work right, but as far as behaving like a normal human, but he functions very well, and he's able to fight and talk to you just fine and all that stuff. But they resurrected him to use him as a divine assassin, and which you'll understand what that means if you ever watch it. But I don't know. It drew me in. It had some interesting stuff in it. It's very strange. There's always a bunch of sexual innuendo in it too, though. So it's not really for it's not for kids. Not for kids. This really says, "Hello, the fallen Madonna with big boobies." You're missing out if you haven't seen the misadventures of Basil Fawlty. I shall this only once. I shall say this only once. What are you talking about? You messed up? Must be something from the show. Oh, I'm sure you do. But as I'm always having to tell you, a lot of times you think things are rubbish that aren't rubbish. I mean, you let your personal feelings towards your boyfriend, Tom Cruise, taint your assessment of the new Top Gun movie. But yeah, look for, I think that's it right there, actually. The Lex Season 1 1.0. Yeah, that's it. I think it's it. Yeah. Yeah. It's right there on YouTube. First episode's called "I Worship His Shadow." You'll understand what that all means as you watch it. But
I am Kai,
good stuff.
last of the Bullen Jew.
If you like it's because some of it's again for people that are really serious about the sci-fi, which I usually am. They might not like this because there's some really goofy, crazy shit in it. But I have a feeling that if you like Red Dwarf, you're probably going to like this. Joe says, just a reply to your comment earlier, Lockbeard. It took me 45 years to bumble into Sasquatch, though. Haven't seen one once. Makes me skeptical of those who say they see them all the time. Yeah, people who just see them all the time, they don't have resources. But when someone's a multimillionaire and their entire business has been presenting all these cryptids and stuff like that on all these shows, you would think that they would want to actually find one for once. And so if Sasquatch is a flesh and blood being, like I think you and I agree that that's what it is, and it's really out there, and you got millions of dollars, you ought to be able to track down a large variety of human running around in the woods if you really want to. So I think that they're not supposed to. There's no way all these Bigfoot hunting shows exist and they haven't found anything concrete at all this time, especially with all the money that's involved. So I call bullshit on them all. I call bullshit on all of them. The mysterious beast monster quest in search of not finding Bigfoot, all that stuff. People like watching that and being spooked by it and whatever. And if they ever actually find them, then Bigfoot's going to be something you see in like a National Geographic documentary, which I think far fewer people are going to watch. They're going to be like, whatever. It's just another documentary of some tribe of people or some kind of animal, whichever it is. And it won't get near the excitement or the views. It won't make as much money. Then you're doing real science, right? And you got to have a real budget to do that real science, and you got to pay real scientists. And instead of just sending a bunch of people who you did a casting call for, and just have them go out there and hoot and holler and act like they're doing some real science. And yeah, I'm just not buying it. Just not buying it. Seems like if they were true, they'd have lots of evidence to show. Yeah, exactly. What says was one of the catchphrases from LOLO. Oh, Tom Cruise heard his name. Here he is. He's in the chat. Scientologist man. Tom Cruise, I told your ex-boyfriend you made some good movies. The new Top Gun was not bad. Oblivion was pretty good. Legend was good. Live, Die, Repeat, or what? Well, what was it called here? That was what it was called overseas. But anyway, that was a good movie too. On the Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow. I thought that was pretty good. Even though it was another stupid time travel thing. Freaking sci-fi version of Groundhog Day. Donald says to Satch, I'm skeptical of the one that says he killed him for a 3-letter agency. Yeah. I mean, I think the government has probably killed a bunch of them and probably used a bunch of them for experimentation as well, because they have no qualms about doing that to humans, right? Tom Cruise ain't gonna leave you alone, Mr. Lee. Sash says, if I were seeing them every time I went in the woods, I'd have at least a few good videos, I would think. Yeah. Wants to rub your knob? Mr. Lee. Icon says, Tom wants to rub your knob. Satch says, yeah, I call bullshit on that at Donald. Yeah. It's just too easy for someone to make that claim and having not, there's no way you can disprove it, right? Of course, the burden of proof's on them, right? You got to prove that you actually did this thing or was associated with this thing. But I have no doubt that something like that actually occurs, but it's just that there's anyone who's out there actually talking about it, it probably ain't legit. They're just trying to tell a story, and for whatever the reason is, money, attention, whatever it is. Around Earth. Someone's watching a Discovery called Mountain Monsters. Yeah, Mountain Monsters. They already made a spinoff called Alaskan Monsters. Yeah, they're going to milk every dollar. They're going to milk every dollar. Complete joke. Yeah, Mountain Monsters, complete joke. Jen says Mountain Monsters was just a fun watch. What says Satch? Yeah, it was believable at the beginning, but then it got a bit fantastical. Entertaining, but not helpful, but entertaining. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, I've been watching Outsiders. That's kind of good. Satch says, I used to smoke a fatty before I watched them and then laughed my ass off. What says the episodes on here are the ones where Trapper died and he left them all clues in the woods. Uh-oh, Nikki's going live in 30 minutes. Awesome. Satch will be there. We'll be there. Mr. Lee says the Walking Dead new series has started. I think they've probably used up the Walking Dead at this point. You gotta know when to stop. Gary Johnson says, when out deer hunting, I seen Bigfoot, aka Argo, by a laurel bush holding both hands up. I'm thinking he was hiding something or thinking I didn't see him, but I did. Walked past him. I think I still got. There it is. There it is. Pull the Lex off of here. What says loads of deer around here. Farmers have been calling them. Loads of jacks. In Norfolk. I think pretty much everybody was here that was here last night when they were talking about that there. But where's that? There it is.
Okay, dogs are always welcome on from behind culture trees.
She's a little bit of a talker sometimes.
Anyway,
so like I said, we spent a week at night trying to do these different recreations. There's one point there's like something that's hot that something drops. And we tried to figure out was that a rock? Was that what was that? Something gets thrown. I mean, there's like I said, there's a whole lot more to this. And we can sit here and debate that, but I think we still have an opportunity to look at the rest of that.
And it's not
I mean, we can sit here and just go back and forth, but we're not going to.
That's not what the show's about, honestly.
No, I'm not trying to have an endless back and forth, man. I'm trying to have a good discussion. Based on things that I know and
you've had the rest of, if you've digested the rest of it, until you've done that, we really can't have a conversation. It's not.
Yeah, sure we can. But see, so you're the one shutting down the conversation. You're the one defining the rules.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah, what?
You don't believe it. And I'm telling you that I believe it.
I don't believe in anything. It's not a matter of faith.
He's like a nihilist. Okay, so Pat, just Kip is our guest, my guest on the show, and I want his story to be told. And we can interject some conjecture, but we don't need to go back and forth because we don't have 4 hours to do this.
Do you get the little monk cacks in America? Says what? Muntjacks. Officially says what? Oh yeah, they have boar problem up in the New Forest too. Suffolk is at the Bears and Thetford Forest. Any truth to it? The article should come up. What are you talking about? Are you talking about bears or boars? Did it? Figures. I wonder why. Let me see here. Yep, this one looks fine. But the other one went down, huh? Let's see if I can go take a look. Figure something would happen. It figures. I mean, it's showing live. It's taking a bit to load, but yeah, it's showing okay here. We look good. It must have been temporary or something, or just a momentary thing, because it looks fine here. Release bears killed a family, apparently. Oh, shit, dude. They may consider reintroducing wolves back into the Scottish Highlands, too. Yeah, you just got to make sure people know how to deal with those animals. You know, so many people these days have no fucking clue. So, they're just not prepared for it. Uncle Bone says it's unavailable to me. I could not chat. I wonder why. Because I just loaded it up and it looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine. See what you think about it. Seems a bit far-fetched, but you never know. Yeah, that segment there that I just played, it looked like things were getting a little more rough in the conversation there. We didn't watch that far last night, though. Mr. Hughes here, welcome.
So that being said,
so my opinion is not welcome. I mean, is that what you're saying, Brendan?
Of course not.
I mean,
Of course it is.
Okay, well then my opinion is just simply this. It is inconclusive based on my what professional skill sets I do have with thermal imaging. And what I understand about FLIR monoculars and how, especially 2012 and whatever model that was pre-2012, white hot, there's no way to judge distance. You don't know what you're looking at. At one point, and I did look at the video, and at one point, what I saw was either a raccoon or a bear cub circling a dead tree. Now, see, I saw that objectively, Kip. I saw that objectively as an objective observer. Oh, what was that? What does that look like? Well, what that looks like to me is either a raccoon or a bear cub circling a dead tree. I could.
So you think he comes at him a little too aggressively? Is that what people are saying here? Mr. Lee says Mr. Pat does get a bit heated up sometimes. I like him though. Yeah. Uncle Bone says yes, but must have been temp back on now. Mr. Hughes was over there. Yep. Seeing how many. There's just two over there. Yeah, probably just faded it out for a second. Maybe the signal was bad on your end or something.
Point out the dead tree. Can you show me like your recreations?
Because, well, just based on animal behavior, it wouldn't stay there for the better part of an hour hanging out in camp. The bear cub would probably need its mother, and it probably wouldn't stay around. It would probably come in.
Wasn't there two subjects in the film?
And we
2 to 3. I noticed 2 to 3 moving in between the trees.
Again, I also say possibly raccoon. The type of animal that would do that is a bigger.
There's nothing spinning around the tree.
3 foot, 2.5 foot animal circling the tree.
Okay, so let's we're gonna go with Pat here right now, and we're gonna challenge Pat to tell us what he sees here, because I see 2 trees, I see 2 large trees, and you see a bear cub right there going on a tree. Pat?
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, that's what it looked like.
You can talk over this, Pat. I just want to see because I don't see
right there that black, just that black tree, like looks like a dead tree to me, partial dead tree. And I see clear movement around it.
That's what you're looking at right there, right? Kip, am I correct?
No, that's not. I mean, not at all.
That's the black part. Let Kip talk.
Me at 6'3".
No, but I'm talking about the black, the stump here, and this little stump in the foreground, this deadfall.
I'm looking at Robert in the red, and then I'm looking at the 6'3" marker.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're over where you are. 6'3" is where the creature was. So Robert in the red jacket is deceiving because that makes you look at that's where you thought it was. But I see you.
If the recreation, Robert is way smaller than what we had. So again, the whole recreation and putting it, and putting apples to apples, that would probably answer a lot of your questions, Pat. And I'm not trying to shut you down, but
I doubt it. I mean, I'll look at it. I'll look at every piece of evidence you guys have presented.
Got a lot of windows open, says Uncle Bones. What says Windows on your computer, presumably? The guy on the show is at the 6'3" marked tree. What do you mean? because I see him standing there. It looks like there might be someone standing behind the tree over there where that 6 foot mark is at, though. So are we looking? Are there two people? Are there two people in this picture they're showing here, and one of them standing kind of behind that tree? Because it looks like there might be half of a shadow of a person there, as if there's someone standing by that tree. So there are two people in the picture. They got someone that's actually 6'3" standing back there, and then this other guy standing in the red coat in the foreground. Mr. Lee says he looks short. This is kneeling. So there's another guy standing behind the tree where 6'3" is marked. That's what it looks like. I just at some point we gotta go on faith that this guy in the red coat is being honest, because 6'3" is not fantastically tall. There's plenty of people that are that tall. I know a guy, he's 6'8" and extremely huge fella, and I guarantee you if I had the inkling to make a proper costume for him, that your thermal would not tell. You use this like a spandex or kind of like and then glue the hair to the spandex. It'll be like the person he's just covered in hair, and put him in the woods and he would fool everybody. It'd be so easy to fucking hoax that shit if you're just shooting for 6 foot something. And so I don't know this guy. I don't know that I can believe that he doesn't, that he didn't have someone out there helping him hoax this. I don't know. That's why video evidence and thermal especially is not ever going to be good enough. We need the physical evidence. We need it. It just has to happen. So, stories sure as hell aren't going to tell us anything more either. So Uncle Bun says the person on the show is that shadow at the 6'3" mark. So that's a different guy in a red jacket in the picture than him. I just saw red jacket there, red jacket here, and thought maybe that was him. What says, has somebody just pushed over the swaying tree on the right? I don't know. Did not stick with it, Mr. Hugh. Just beat me up too bad. Joints were fucked, muscle spasms, all kinds of shit. It wasn't happening. Grasshopper says that looks like Lederman on the red coat, in the red coat. Grasshopper. Welcome, Grasshopper. Satch says, I'm hopping off. Have a good night, folks. I have seen this train wreck already. Awesome. Well, we're quitting here in a minute anyway, and Nikki's going to be on, so probably most everybody here will be over there shortly. See you later. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was, coming in, Pat was coming in hot, I get it. But, again, I mean, give me a reason to believe this guy. I don't know him. You know, there's you know, we got hoaxer after hoaxer after hoaxer out there. Yeah, she said she was going to go ahead and do a live tonight as well, though, in about 8 minutes. Uncle Bone says it's deceiving because he has a red coat on in the LS. He offered Pat all the evidence and research note, but Pat refused and left without looking, not helping, in my opinion. Well, yeah. True. I mean, he said he was going to do it, though, so, you know. Mr. Hughes says, sorry to hear that Lockbeard keeps looking in. Yeah, I mean, I'm still recovering. It was extremely, you know, just, I'm not as young as I used to be. Donald says, never should have asked for his opinion. Jen says, see y'all at Nikki's. We'll see you there, Jen.
I'm not saying I won't. I will. Okay. I will. I
probably should have done that
fairly. I will always do that fairly and objectively. That's who I am.
It's my fault because I probably should have given that to you before because I got this stuff from Kip a couple days ago and I went through with the fine-tooth comb and I listened to
breaks like I see them.
Okay.
You're calling him on about that much of the evidence that we have.
But the big evidence is the footage, and I know what I'm looking at in that footage is extremely inconclusive.
Footage is really until you put it in perspective. The footage is difficult. Absolutely.
And I think we all agree on that.
Shut that dog up. What says, just check the outer channel. She's playing the slots on a couple vids. Who is? Gary says, I'm on Pat's side. Yeah, I said it. Uncle Bone says, Lockbeard, contact them and they will give you all the evidence. I don't think Pat will look at it. You know, is all their evidence, is it all video? Is it all video evidence? Or did they have any physical evidence?
Type stuff. Exactly. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Enough, I get the point.
You plotting on me, boy?
That footage is on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have time to look into that any further. I mean, I'm going to try and watch that whole live stream all the way through, get a feel for it. But, you know, if all they got's video, and that's just not going to do it. But anyway, Nikki's going to be on in a few minutes, so it's time to cut out.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Thank y'all. share the heck out of it, because YouTube is suppressing as much as they can get away with it. Uncle Bone says we don't know, and Pat certainly don't know. He condemned them from the start. Would be nice for someone to debunk or confirm what they have. Oh yeah, I mean, someone needs to look at all of it. I just don't know. I don't know if that someone's me, or but oh, no problem, Mr. Lee. Thank you. See you later, Mr. Hugh. All y'all have a good night. Probably see y'all at Nikki's in just a few minutes.